Thank you, Mr. Blacksad.
Does the postman always leave your mail on the floor?
I don't know,
What's wrong?
It's my mother's wedding ring.
Had it been stolen?
I don't know. My father wore it on his pinky finger after she died.
Not always, apparently.
Will you find out why?
Sure, but there's something else I'm worried about. This might have something to do with Bobby Yale's disappearance.
Oh my, yes. It could be.
Nice and steady heartbeat. Big, bright eyes. Looks well rested. Either she didn't mourn her father, or she really knows how to work that makeup. What the?
What's wrong?
Someone's taking pictures from the rooftop.
Are you sure?
I'll go take a look.
Now, who's that rope for, Miss Dunn?
Weekly. What the hell are you doing here?
Hey, look! Isn't that Cassidy?
Don't change the subject, you sad little...
Why don't we settle this over ice cream, huh, John? Just like in the good old days.
How did you get up here? I don't want anyone to see you. Everyone, even the most hapless of creatures, has a gift. Something that makes them special, that makes them worth knowing. Foul-smelling Weekly is no exception. No matter what he does, it's impossible to stay mad at him for too long.
This bourbon shake is delicious. Want a taste?
You know I don't like milk.
Your loss. So, Joe Dunn hangs himself and leaves his gym to his daughter, which makes her the first woman to run a boxing gym, I think.
I don't think Dunn killed himself.
What? Do you have a suspect? Any leads?
No, it's just a hunch. Although... I haven't identified the murderer just yet. But trust me, I will.
Of course. And now that I've got your back, what could possibly go wrong?
Well, it doesn't really matter. It's just a hunch. I wouldn't bet my life on it. I've got other suspects, like O'Leary, the bookmaker.
Desmond O'Leary? The same O'Leary who used to date Helen Moore? Now that's a woman.
And then there's the Walrus. Who was that guy?
Come on. You've never heard of Frank Cassidy, the president of the Boxing Managers Association?
Who's also Stone's agent, Bobby Yale's rival.
Hey, he might have a motive, right? He might know something about Dunn's death, right?
I decided to ask Weekly to investigate Cassidy. My reasons? Weekly was right. Cassidy could have had a motive to kill Dunn. But with Weekly, you just never know what the best approach might be. Should I give him an order or a subtle suggestion? Well, since you think Cassidy is a suspect, see what you can find.
Okay, but you'll have to do me a favor. Tell Sonia Dunn that a legendary journalist from What's News wants an interview.
Weekly, please.
Well, if not, bye-bye, Cassidy.
All right. I'll see what I can do.
Great. That's settled then.
By the way, I never told you what happened to Colbert, did I?
No. What happened?
The rhinoceros came by and offered me money to keep quiet.
Wow. Are we talking petty cash or big bucks?
The latter.
That's my boy. Good job, Blacksad.
Half the money is yours.
Yeehaw!
So, was there really someone on the roof?
Yeah, but he was faster than me. I couldn't get my hands on him.
A fast spy and a slow detective. This must be my lucky day.
I saw you arguing with a guy named Cassidy. What did he want?
Remember the fight that needs to take place in order to save this gym?
Well, Cassidy manages Yale's rival, Stone, the reigning champion.
If Bobby doesn't show up, he'll lose money. Maybe not a lot, but enough to care.
Did you find anything interesting in those papers?
No. Investigation work takes time, as I'm sure you know.
Did you find anything interesting in those papers?
No. Investigation work takes time, as I'm sure you know.
I once shredded a bag like that, just out of pure rage. Do you remember anything else about the day you found the thingamajig with the springs and the paint can?
Yeah, no. Wait, yeah. Well, no, now that I think of it, no. Hey, pal, how about thanking a good-looking goat with a cigarette?
Of course. Here you go.
Yeah, you think you're not responsible for my pathetic state? Think you're not to blame? It's the government that shipped me off to war.
They shipped me off, too.
Oh, right. So then you know what it's like to kill, too. Well, then another sad hobo shouldn't be a problem for you, Professor.
I'd rather not talk about it.
Okay, I understand. Wait, but that's not what I wanted to say. Oh, well, you know we goats tend to jump from one thing to another. The government paid for everything. Army fatigues, rations, weapons, lodging and hookers, drugs. Do you know where that money comes from? Taxes! Your taxes, my dear friend. You help them cut my legs. They declare war every chance they get, so that the weapon industry that finances their campaigns gets richer and richer and richer. And that's how we finance their wars. So the slightest connection with corruption turns us into accomplices. Unless one manages to keep at arm's length. That is what I did, my loyal disciple, at the Million-Star Hotel. So, do like your master, the great...
Hey, what's your name? You never told me... Arthur Tucker painted the racial slur on Yale's locker. Well, I know this much. The chest expander in the trash belongs to Yale. Why do you have that pen, Jake? What mess are you in? Okay. Mary put the wedding ring in the envelope and wrote Sonia Dunn on it. But why did she have the ring in the first place? What can you tell me about Sonia Dunn?
I barely know her, but she looks like a smart girl, poor thing.
What do you think about Jake Ostiambi?
Who? Who's that?
A big gorilla. Boxer, too. A friend of Joe Dunn's.
Oh, yeah. I barely know him. I don't like how he looks at me.
Let's talk a bit more about Joe Dunn. What kind of boss was Joe Dunn?
A good one. Always paid on time, never raised his voice. If I asked for the day off, he even cleaned the gym.
Can you tell me how you found Dunn's body?
Well, I thought I was alone. I clean early in the morning before Mr. Dunn comes in.
Oh, so you have keys to the gym.
Yes, of course. There was paint on the floor, so I thought it'd be a busy morning. And then I saw him. Hanging there, like a baby mobile over a crib. Then I think I panicked. When I calmed down, I called the police and waited outside. Sorry, that's all I can say.
Don't worry. But if you remember anything else, let me know. How was Joe Dunn outside the gym?
I wouldn't know. I only saw him at the gym or right there. That was his spot. I think everyone liked him.
Maybe he simply had money issues.
Yeah, I don't know. Could be. The gym didn't really get that dirty lately.
I heard his relationship with his daughter wasn't ideal.
Oh, really? Poor man. I don't have kids, but that has to be really hard.
His wife died years ago. Maybe he never got over it.
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe he did. That was a long time ago.
Any ideas where Bobby Yale could be?
How am I supposed to know? He's rarely there when I clean the gym. Bobby seems like a nice kid, but I barely know him.
Can I ask you about your job?
Which one?
Tell me about your work here in the diner.
Oh, it's wonderful. I love it. My boss.
Oh, glad to hear that. How long have you worked at the gym?
It's been, 4 or 5 years? Although, I don't think I'll be able to set foot in there again.
This must be really hard for you. I'm sorry. Other than the diner and the gym, you don't work anywhere else, right?
I wouldn't have the time, although I'm not sure I want to continue working at the gym.
It might be best to stay away from the gym, at least for a while, for your own well-being. In due time, things might change.
Joey used to say the same thing. Maybe. I don't know. Thanks.
Sorry. I think that's it for now. See you around.
We'll miss you at Sam's Diner. Bye-bye.
Were Mary Purnell and Joe Dunn an item? What if Mary's birthday is the combination to the safe? Did you find anything interesting in those papers?
No. Investigation work takes time, as I'm sure you know.
And there it was, Mary's birthday, a week prior to that very day. I never would have taken Dunn for a gun owner.
You opened the safe?
Yeah, and I think you need to see this. Can you tell me what it says?
All right. I think this might be useful for the investigation, Mr. Detective. He left everything to me, except some boxing trophies and knickknacks that'll go to Bobby Yale.
Do you think Bobby Yale read it before he disappeared?
Maybe.
When was it signed?
It was written 4 years ago, just weeks after I moved to Buffalo.
Congratulations. You're one lucky lady.
I'll pretend I didn't hear that.
All right. Thanks. You see, I've got this friend. He's a journalist, and, the thing is, well, He would like to interview you.
Why?
A woman running a boxing gym? That's quite the story.
And how did this friend of yours find out, exactly?
Well, I might have said something.
I don't even want to hear you. I just hope you prove your professional worth before the day is over.
I think I know who had your mother's ring.
You do?
Mary Purnell. I think she manipulated your father in order to marry him.
Thank you.
I never asked about the gym's insurance.
That's exactly what I'm reading now. So far, it looks like your standard small business policy.
Did you find anything interesting in those papers?
No. Investigation work takes time, as I'm sure you know.
Did you find anything interesting in those papers?
No. Investigation work takes time, as I'm sure you know.
Okay, Jake.
I told you.
Desmond O'Leary.
Huh?
I know you work for him.
Now you're just making stuff up. Why would you say that?
I saw the shamrock in your locker. I know what it means.
Okay, let's say you're right. So what? What are you gonna do, huh?
We're pals. I won't do a thing. But please, tell me the truth.
Okay, I guess I should have said something. Business isn't going that well lately. Natalia was my last well-paying job, and it's been a while. Then O'Leary shows up and offers me a bodyguard contract. What was I supposed to do?
Yeah, I understand.
Seriously, you don't seem like the type to accept shady offers.
I've done things like that, and worse, but I'm not proud of them.
Hey, O'Leary might run an illegal gambling operation, but it's not like he's killing people or conning widows. And I'm just a bodyguard. I make sure no one gets hurt. What I do, including my contract and paycheck, is 100% legal. How bad can that be?
Yeah, you're right. The fact that his business is illegal doesn't turn you into a criminal. We're only accountable for our own actions. But that's not what bothers me. I know you're covering up O'Leary's role in Joe Dunn's death.
Huh? O'Leary? No way. I mean, I don't think so.
Jake, please.
Well, I guess there's no point in hiding it now. I was here the day Dunn died.
Go on.
I had to take care of some business for O'Leary. He makes me wear the shamrock when I work for him. I left the damn thing in my locker.
Say no more. You came in the back door.
How did you... Yeah, that's it. Joe had mentioned he'd been painting that afternoon, but I forgot. I stopped in my tracks when I saw him screaming bloody murder at Bobby Yale at the top of the scaffold.
What exactly was he saying?
Something like, if you do that, I'll call off the fight and make sure you never set foot in this gym again. I didn't want them to see me, so I left.
Jake, why didn't you tell me?
I thought you'd be pissed off.
Well, you were wrong.
I'm sorry, John. I should have said something.
Don't worry. We all make mistakes. Time to go. I need to think about everything you just told me.
Thanks, John.
I'd prefer a yellow Cadillac, but I can't complain. Did you find anything interesting in those papers?
No. Investigation work takes time, as I'm sure you know.
I don't even want to imagine Weekly falling from up here. Hmm. Sonia's measurements stop at 18, and there's a gap in Bobby's between ages 15 and 17. A few bucks. Just petty cash. Did you find anything interesting in those papers?
No. Investigation work takes time, as I'm sure you know.
I don't know why. Something just doesn't add up.
Thanks, pal.
So, what else can you tell me about Dunn's death?
Well, not much. My memory's not what it used to be.
Do you remember anything else about Joe Dunn and Bobby Yale's argument?
No, not really, no. Only Joe yelling, "If you do, I'll call off the fight and kick you out of the gym.
What can you tell me about Sonya Dunn?
She's hot, ain't she?
It seems like her father's death didn't really upset her.
Well, she likes to play it cool, which makes her really hot.
You two seem to get along nicely.
Well, I've known her since she was a baby. But she sure has grown, if you get my drift. I hadn't seen her since she left for college about 4 years ago.
What was Joe Dunn like?
He was a decent man. Have you seen all those slogans on the wall? Those motivational phrases? Joe really believed in them. All of them.
He played the saxophone, right?
Yeah, pretty well for a white boy. But he quit when his wife died. Makes no sense, right? I mean, nothing draws chicks like the brass. Why quit when you're finally free? Ha 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 ha.
Did you know Joe Dunn had a gun in his safe?
No way, man. He hated firearms. Although, when Bobby Yale was a teenager, he went through a crazy phase. Even dropped out of the gym and joined the gang. Nothing serious. Early one morning, he broke in the gym. Joe was already here and caught him red-handed. Bobby pointed the gun at Dunn and ordered him to open the safe. So, Joe opened it and asked Bobby to put the gun aside, leave the gang, and start boxing again. I got here 5 minutes later and found Bobby crying like a baby in Joe's arms. Then he just stood up and put on his gloves.
Joe Dunn or Joey Dunn?
Huh? Nobody called him Joey. Well, maybe his wife. Although she didn't call him anything after she died.
I found an empty wine bottle on the rooftop. Did Joe Dunn drink?
Only for a while, back when his wife died. But eventually he quit. After that, he'd only drink on special occasions.
Do you have any idea where Bobby Yale could be?
Not a clue.
I dropped by Bobby Yale's apartment. I think he might be involved with O'Leary, the bookmaker.
You sure? Yale had some dark years, no doubt, but Dunn turned him into a decent guy. I'm no detective, but I wouldn't follow that lead.
If Yale's going to fight the reigning champion, he's got a big career ahead of him.
He hasn't lost a single fight since he turned pro. The little bastard beat the socks off me a few years back.
Do you know any of his relatives?
His father, Avenarius.
Avenarius? The boxer poet? Didn't he disappear 20 years ago?
Yeah, and his wife, Bobby's mom, died shortly after. Dunn is the closest thing the family the poor kids had ever since.
That explains the poetry book in his locker. You said Yale joined a gang back in the day? Know which one?
Hell, I don't know, John. This is New York City. There are more gangs than people.
Dunn wasn't black, but he allowed you and Bobby Yale to train here.
Yeah, this was the first integrated gym in the city, I think.
But not everyone liked that, hmm?
You've seen the graffitis, right? If I get my hands on that bastard...
I happen to know who painted the lockers. Arthur Tucker.
I knew it. I knew it was him, that bastard. I'm gonna whip the white out of him.
I better let you get back to your drills.
All right.
I don't know why. Something just doesn't add up. I'd prefer a yellow Cadillac, but I can't complain. I know you're hiding something.
What?
You know what? You're the only woman who ever called Dunn Joey, except his late wife.
Oh, my goodness. I can't talk here. My shift is over in 10 minutes. Can you wait a while? Coming right up.
Mary Purnell, the angel Joe Dunn found in his golden years.
We'd been seeing each other for almost 2 years. It all started with, well, weekdays I start cleaning the gym at dawn, before my shift at the diner. Joey always came in early, just a little after I got there. He used to say it was the best time for the worst task of the day.
Oh, I know exactly what he meant. Worked out first thing, huh?
Oh, no. He used to say that showing his boxers how to fight was exercise enough. Paperwork. He just hated it. But that was just him. Instead of putting off the things he couldn't stand, he did them as soon as possible. One morning, he saw me crying. I was having a rough day and...
And he took advantage of your vulnerability, right?
No. We're talking about the nicest man I've ever met. He pointed at the coffee machine. You need a cup of joe and some fresh air. That was the first of many cups on the rooftop.
Which is where Dunn seduced you.
That word is a bit too much, Mr. Blacksad. You might be too young to understand this, but real love has little to do with seduction. One day, we realized those rooftop coffees were the best part of our day, so we began to spend more time together.
But you never told anyone. Why did you keep it secret?
For Sonia's sake. She and Joey drifted apart after her mother's death. He was afraid that our relationship would only make matters worse. Until one day, on the rooftop, we realized just how serious our relationship was, and we decided to turn those moments into a lifetime.
So he asked you to marry him?
Yes, of course. He gave me the wedding ring, and we decided to tell the world. He said he needed to share that happiness with his little girl. Turns out, he wasn't that happy after all.
What about Yale? Wasn't he like a son to him?
Maybe you already noticed I have a slight cold. I really should be heading home.
Maybe you should cover your neck.
I lost my scarf a while back, not sure where. And now, if you'll excuse me, that's my bus stop. A pleasure to speak with you, Mr. Blacksad.
He opened it during the war? That's odd. I'd prefer a yellow Cadillac, but I can't complain. Damn. I think I have a new lead on the Dunn case. Dunn and the gym's cleaning lady were about to get married.
Great. Call What's News. They'll know what to do with such an incredibly interesting piece of information.
The combination on Dunn's safe was her birthday. He even gave her a ring. You know, your typical suicidal bliss.
Okay, I'm still not convinced, but I might have something for you.
Life is often off-key, like a bad song. The notes come together but feel flat. unable to create anything resembling music. And yet, there are ways to string them together to create harmony. Ways that are not always entirely in our hands.
You look tired, John.